You here? Excuse me. Let's get straight to it. I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm going to go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consul Moon. You already know what you're going to get me. Step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. Yeah, I'm here. While I'm here, I'm going to make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts, and as the title states, Jesus on My Thoughts 294. I want to discuss a Bible verse, John 8:16 or John 8:17. Well, John 8:16 through 18. And it's about Jesus, okay? Let's listen to the ancestors, and we'll be having Ancestors Speak Thursday. I'm going to bring on the great Dr. John Henry Clarke, okay? And that's what we're going to do on Thursday. We're going to hear from the great Dr. Clarke. Let's listen to the ancestors, and we'll get straight into this episode. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching.
One thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception.
One thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. And that's nothing that ever came from the European mind. It was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception. That's the great Dr. John Henry Clarke. And may his soul rest. May his spirit continue to be lifted. All right. Let's look at John 8:16 through 18. What they're discussing here is the law. Jesus was clever, at least in the literature. Now, I want you to hear this straight away. There's never been a man of any race, creed, or color to ever walk the earth in human being form by the name of a Jesus the Christ. It never happened nowhere. This is allegory, mythology, fiction, oral tradition, and flat out lies. You hear me? That's what it is. There's no historical Jesus. So when they start saying, you talking about the historical Jesus or it's neither. It's never been a man named that of any historical consequence. Archaeology hasn't substantiated these claims. Historiography, history, if you will, has never clarified none of these claims. People base a lot of literature. They want you to take all this literature into consideration and say, since all this right here, and they say 2,000 years, that's not true. None of this stuff was going on 2,000 years ago. We're supposed to ignore all this history, literary history only, and believe that this Jesus never existed. And whoever makes that silly remark does not know history, okay? No one wrote about Jesus the Christ. No one jotted it down. No one cataloged anything. This Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they're fictitious characters, just like Jesus the Christ, okay? Now, Jesus was clever in the literature. He going around and saying, hey, in your law, it states that if two people say something, it becomes a fact. It don't even have to be true. As long as two people witness something or agree on something, that means it's factual. Okay, so let's look at that. And he's telling this to people of that time in the literature. Never happened. But if this was the first century, that's when they said this Jesus the Christ is supposed to be lived. He was telling this to people with little to no education. They were illiterate, and a lot of them weren't that knowledgeable. A lot of people were knowledgeable at that time. But in the first century, a lot of people, the literacy rate was very low. Because if you're going to say it wasn't, show me the schools. Where were they literary schools? You see? You hear me, African people? You have to show me their school systems. Show it to me. Let's look at this, these scriptures. And again, like I say, Jesus is written to be clever. So he always out clevers a person. And they use that stuff still to this time. That's why certain pastors can get before you with all this esteem. And so many people say, oh, he's a good pastor and his reputation is building. But he's using the Bible, the literature in the Bible, to say whatever he's saying is basically true, because he's gathered all his witnesses and he got witness testimony. So when he tell you with all the authority, he knows the Bible better than you, you're supposed to believe everything he's saying. Because as long as two people say it is law, and you got the pastor, he's saying that he declares this Bible is true, and everyone in it who's supposedly be real, they all declared it true. So it's him and the people with the Bible. So that makes it factual. And they do this all the way up into today. You hear me? Let's look at this. This is the New Living Translation. Okay, it says this. Now, John 8:16-18. And if I did, my judgment would be correct in every respect, because I am not alone. You can't accept this from nobody on the planet who's factual, or should I say a factual human being who say, hey, I'm not alone. Me and somebody else is here with me. And you looking and you say, so where's this other guy accompanying you, or this person? Where are they? We can't see them. And you say, oh, he's right here with me. See, they'll put you in Betty Ford Center. You hear me? They'll put you in Catherine. They'll put you in all these facilities all across the world and put you in the crazy house. You see, let's continue. The Father who sent me is with me. That's like me showing up to a job interview, and it was a 2-man job interview, and one was for my senior and one was for me. And they say, hey, where's your father? I say, hey, my father is with me. He's sitting right next to me, with me. So interview us both. You hear me? This is nonsensical garbage. I don't care what time period this was. This is foolishness. When a man believes that he's always accompanied by another human being, start thinking about mental issues. You hear me? Okay. The Father who sent me is with me. Your own law says, see, he flipped it on him. This Jesus in the literature, this Jesus the Christ. Your own law say, if two people agree about something, their witness is accepted as fact. As long as two people say, hey, I seen him fly across the moon. Another man said, you was there? Say, yeah, man, he flew across the moon. That's a fact. You hear me? I am one witness, and my Father who sent me is the other. Then this go a little further, and they said, where is your Father? And Jesus answered them and said, since you don't know my Father, that lets me know you don't know me, because me and the Father is one and the same. That's how the story goes now. So with that notion, like I said, they use that crap right up into this time. See, the pastor, the bishop, the deacon, the reverend, he's standing there as a witness. The Bible, with all other witnesses who are already deemed factual of that time period, in this literary book, people deem it factual. That's the other witness. So when they're standing there in all this esteem and they sure that this is real, they're a witness, and the book of the Bible has tons of witnesses. So the word becomes factual, and that's a flat out lie. You hear me? That's my thoughts on all this. I just wanted to share that with you. Excuse me. Anybody who believes a man who speaks to himself, who comes and say, hey, I'm always accompanied by a +1. If you believe someone like that is of a higher esteem, you can have them. You hear me? Because a person with that type of multiple personality and that multiple personality disorder is something mentally wrong with this person. Not only should he not be praised or looked upon as somebody to honor, he should be put in the nearest crazy home and or arrested or put, given medicine. Because if you can't trust the one in front of you, that's one person. How can you trust somebody you can't even see? So this man is dealing with mental issues, even in by the word standard. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoe, Consul Moon. You already know what you're going to give me. Step in this room, you're now another one, Canoe. This is what I do, and I love to do. Excuse me. Before I take back what I said, I ask them all to like, share, subscribe, comment. I thank you for watching. This is not to take God from anybody. This is to restore spirituality which was taken from you at the time religion was given to you. Okay. If you were spiritual, you wouldn't be looking in the book of the Bible for no type of spiritual guidance. Your spirit does not need to be guided. It needs to soar and be free. You hear me? And you was already given that at the time of your birth. You wasn't given Jesus the Christ story when you was born. You see, somebody put that in your brain and give that to you. You wasn't told about Muhammad as soon as you was born. Muhammad wasn't there when you were born. You see? Jehovah Witness and all this, Yahuwah, Yahweh, he wasn't there when you was born. It's never been any of these names anywhere. But if you were spiritual, you would know that. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I thank you for watching. If you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon or a silly religion, pick up some knowledge. If anybody's offended by anything you heard, I mean every word. Yay, yay. We out. See y'all tomorrow.